So, hello, I am feeling called to do a reflective read in terms of the energetic growth I know that a lot of us are moving through. I've been witnessing that there is immense change, like very voluptuous change, bad and good, depends on perspective, obviously, as well, but within some people's lives. And then there is a huge amount of us who have been doing spiritual work, shadow work, work in both our 3D lives and in our 5D spiritual existences, and more. Dream world, living world, etc. And at the same time, like, can only control so much and are sort of continuously being led to wait, to practice patience, to be, to accept. And that can be a beautiful thing and very easy some days, and other days it's like, I'm holding reins though. Where am I going next? What do I do? Like, and so I will be pulling a card of reflection because I did this for myself earlier and I was like, this will be helpful for others. So if you feel like this is for you literally because you want to watch, then that's good enough for me. But maybe not every part of it will be for you. Maybe just one word, anything like that. But I've been finding lately when I think I'm out of alignment or I think, oh, I could be doing more or whatever, I've swung a pendulum and I asked my higher self literally earlier today, am I living in alignment the last couple days with my highest good? And it said yes. They said yes. And I burst into tears. And I was surprised by that because I hadn't realized I was being that hard on myself internally. But it feels like this is a very important moment. And also, there are things that are being done by our guides and guardians that are individual to each of us, and then those that are watching over the collective and all beings here on earth that are continuously participating in our growth. But, like, watching something like Demon Slayer or watching a movie or whatever where a character has things they go through and then there's like a culmination and it's a very obvious progression of growth and then rewards, but like, and life does turn out that way sometimes, but then it keeps going. It's not an end, right? And so it can be like, okay, it's developed more. It got even deeper. Who's writing this? It just keeps going. And stuff that I have said that so many times in my life I think I know, not that I think I know everything, but like you think you've experienced everything spiritual. Anyway, okay, let me get to the card here. But yeah, it just continuously impresses and deepens. And yeah, I can't help but see the beauty in that. That is down to perspective, though. It is a subjective experience. Okay, so which card from this Gateway of Light Activation Oracle guidebook, which I find is a useful tool for allowing me to ask what is greater than my own individual guides and guardians, what is entirely source, what have you got to say as far as what it is that this collective that is staying for this reading has been moving through. Make sense a little bit of the initiation, of this current initiation, of this current moment of progression. Okay, thank you. That one lying down. One card. Okay, one card. One card. Where'd you go? It's like, come find me. Earth Star activation. Okay, I'll hold this up after I get the guy here. These are not ones I know off by heart as well. Some of them I've noticed have come to me many times, and every once in a while a card will come out that I have never encountered before, and it's like, I've had you for like 2 years. Hello, newbie. Okay. Sorry, compared to these cards, I am the newbie. But okay. Earth Star activation. Anchoring. So the Earth Star, it'll tell you. I'll just read the book. Grounded action, Isis energy. The Earth Star chakra, found 6 to 12 inches or 15 to 30 centimeters below our feet, is the energetic portal that connects us directly with the soul wisdom of Mother Earth. It is our gateway to the underworld of the earth, a space of sacred magic and mystery where we will find a lot of tools, gifts, and skills the ancients used to connect with the earth and her wisdom. And this won't mention it here because we're talking about Isis, but if you are of Irish descent or standing on the land of Ireland or in any way feel connected to Irish mythology, history, look into a deity that calls to you from or is connected to the era of the Tuatha De Danann, because those are beings that live beneath they would be aligned with this Earth Star chakra in their existence in the world that they continue to live in and support us from. Okay, so the Egyptian goddess Isis appears on this card as our spiritual guide. She is a high priestess of the stars who knows, who knows the importance of connecting with the underworld to stay grounded, aware, and manifest all that we need to grow. Follow in her footsteps by connecting to the Earth Star, anchoring down, and go digging within to find any parts of your magic, wisdom, and experiences you have pushed down, both in this incarnation and in previous lifetimes. These tools could be helpful in the next phase of your journey. Oh, this totally goes. Okay, I'll explain why this even aligns more for stuff that I've been kind of channeling. Okay, so here's how to activate this card this moment if you would like to take part. So I would encourage you to close your eyes, but you absolutely can do whatever makes you comfortable. Now imagine deep roots from the soles of your feet penetrating the earth and anchoring around a giant copper crystal star. Visualize streams of consciousness moving up into your feet and receive them. And then listen deeply. Okay. I would encourage you to come back to do that when you're in a more quiet space, maybe than being online and such. But I will say having that copper star chakra as a visual, when I feel very separated from the core of the earth, when I think about grounding. Now, to remind you, a tree's roots go out, and they never really go more than 2 to 3 feet into the ground. They don't go down deep, they go out. The orcs got that shit wrong in Lord of the Rings. Anyway, they don't know shit, they just pull shit down. Anyway, when something is right beneath the center or the layer of the earth, even if you're a whole building up or whatever, I find this is oh, it's also a metal. So it's I can feel easier my energy connecting with that Earth star and then allowing it to move down to the core. So it's an easier kind of post word to allow that connection to happen a little easier when you are kind of taking a minute to feel grounded, or if you're not actually touching grass. And even sometimes when we're touching grass, it takes a second, and it's about either a visualization or where we're at. So that really helps. But as far as this moment in time this is what I see for people in this place, including myself, so the collective that I read for. And this stillness before, not a storm. Yes, a storm in a collective sense, because there's immense change. And then it depends on how you react to change. I get very happy and excited by change. I am at ease amongst chaos, depending, I guess, because in a way I wouldn't wish it on people and stuff so that I can get in my head about it, but I can do well in a crisis. And I was born into change, and so it has been an easier thing, and I have also learned to balance out and become comfortable in stillness. But in this particular stillness, knowing that there is immense change and greatness to come, especially when you are like working in these energetic forms of like understanding, something has settled in. And getting this deep-rooted, grounded card, just like, it's like another level of encouragement of like the things you've been working on, the shadow work that you've done, the um, energy that you've been giving to cultivating different gifts and things that you care about, things you're passionate about, the things that fulfill you as an individual, that make your soul joyful, are what contributes to the collective, whatever way that is for you, right? So the work you've done in these realms has settled in. Like you don't have to try as hard anymore. Those things are practice. Those things have become muscle memory for you now. Like you are safe to know that what you have released is gone. What you have worked on is here to stay. It's a part of you now. It has settled in. It has rooted in. And so like allow that to integrate in a deeper way than maybe you were aware it has, because I had to be told and I was like, yeah, it has. On to the next. And at the same time, let's celebrate, because like took a second to get those things like fully integrated, right? So let's read the message of this card. What was the other thing that it said? Listen deeply. Okay, when you draw this card, know that the Earth Star has been activated and the wisdom you once ignored is finally being acknowledged. The rejected parts of yourself have now been rediscovered. There is an opportunity for you to rediscover magic too, but stay firmly rooted in all of your endeavors. Let the earth hold and sustain you. Don't rush ahead. In fact, if you've been wondering if it's time to move forward, know that it isn't. Stay put for the time being. Important information is now to be revealed, so wait and stand strong. This is a time of integration and rest rather than pushing forward. Great wisdom lies within you. Dive deep and find it, and trust in yourself. You have more strength than you realize. And it kind of came with an action, and I felt like, oh yeah, let's do the bottom of the deck. So the bottom of the deck, I love this card, is Sword of Light, Divine Protection, cords cut, breakthrough energy. I find this imagery is like always very prophetic compared to like what it is I'm going through. Very She-Ra also, which is quite an encouraging little remake of a cartoon, so I'm a big fan. But yeah, divine protection, like there's no doubt of what you have been doing has been divinely guided. You have been protected this entire time. Move now like you know you are being protected, encouraged, and encouraged, fueled, empowered by the universe, by source, by your guides and guardians as messengers of universe and source. And cords cut, the endings have happened. Let it go. Breakthrough energy. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so what I wanted to do next was use, which deck is this again? The Work Your Light Tarot, to see if there was any actions. I find this to be like a very kind and gentle deck until it isn't. Okay. I think a message card instead, because this action has already been given to us. Okay, I'm actually feeling like someone's watching this in the future, and they want to know more about this Sword of Light SW card, so I will read about that. Archangel Michael is the guiding skulls. Okay. Sword of Light is the main energetic tool of Archangel Michael, the Prince of Heaven. His name means he who is like God. He is considered Source's right-hand man. He is the archangel who has chosen to guide and protect all light workers, anyone who is feeling called to make a difference on this planet and be guided to support him. Feel free to use they or she pronouns for this being is not in the image of man. This being is like a giant eyeball with wings sticking out the side and lots of majestic divine light flowing around it. Angelic form, he, him, is written in someone's point of view, and I want to remind people who are fostering relationships with angels, archangels, and deities, all the same. These are energetic expressions that work within our plane, maybe in an unseen version, but they are on this earth plane to guide, help the specific beings who are on this planet. On other planets, there are other deities, other words, other energies that are there to help those beings. So these are the ones that are available to you. And you can name them however you want. They have a lot of different names. Some of them have one name. Pronouns and gender do not exist in the divine. So just as I am a non-binary reader and I will be acting as such. So the sword of light has been pictured as both a spear of light and a lightning bolt. Either way, it's a powerful symbol of truth, spiritual power. Even though it is carried by Michael, it can be invoked by all of those working in the light to help them move beyond blockages and limitations and to sever, I love that word, cords of fear. Joan of Arc invoked it when she was going into battle. Badass. Okay. When this card comes to you, know that it is a confirmation that you are walking the path of light and responding to pre-incarnation soul contracts to make a difference on the planet. Whoops. It's also a sign that you have the opportunity to sever connections to fears and limitations. Energetic cords bind us to situations, loved ones, and even the past, but you are in transition now and detaching from unnecessary connections, dramas, and fears. Know that there will be a great severing at this time, and you might feel isolated for a moment, as you will be reconfiguring your circle of trust and moving into a life that is in greater alignment with your highest good. Know that the cords that bind you to loved ones and soul family will remain intact. It's only the lower vibrational connections that are being severed. Expect breakthroughs and doors of opportunity opening for you. If you feel strongly connected to Archangel Michael, know that his energy is with you now. So the day that I was most curious, it was the first archangel that I actually became connected with, was Michael. And not only were there multiple people that were influencing my life at that point named Michael as well, but something shifted. Anyway, I ended up in a place of like interest and wariness, and I wanted to be sure that this is something, an energy that was like safe for me, aligned for me, more than anything. I always wear hats thinking my crown chakra should be covered, and then I end up like a beetroot because I get so warm. So I didn't ask for a sign. I asked a question and then spoke his name out loud. And literally the second that I did that, a seagull flew over both of the attic windows and shat on both of them. And it was so loud. And that has literally never happened. Not once. No bird poops on those windows somehow. Not when I've lived here anyway. These are windows I grew up with over me, like from teenage age on. Actually, I guess like 12-ish. Anyway, we moved a lot. And like, I will never forget that. Things like that are so life in a way of like, it could be something that's gross. It could have been something that distracted me from what it was that I just did. But because of the way that I now see the world, that message knew that it was going to be seen as hilarious and also like it's a smack in your face moment. Like these things are for me always the most obvious smack in your face things that have to come through or whatever it is. I don't know if that's everyone else's experience of it, but I'm grateful for it because I know that it understands me and I understand it, and then I continue to say it out loud, and then it continues to probably communicate with me in that way because manifestation, right? So yeah, maybe a practice card, a guidance card, a message card. Yes. Yeah, thank you for asking for the explanation of that sort of light, whoever it was. That's, yeah. Which one? Okay. Boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? See, they're nice until they're not. Like, not that they're not nice. Pleiades. Okay. We'll go over both of these. I didn't really have a plan for this except for I knew the gateway of life activation. So let's do the boundaries one. Again, it's an oracle deck, so I have to read from here because I do not know them off by heart. Where are your little lists, honey? I have History Has Its Eyes on You stuck in my head from Hamilton, by the way, in case that has any 38. 68, 69, 151. All were page numbers for the other cards, by the way. Okay, where in your life do you need to establish better boundaries? You are being called to create clearer boundaries in your life. I mean, and these are beautiful, healthy things, really. But I did just see a post which I feel like is more useful than that. There is either you have a choice when creating boundaries because they're not something that we've all been used to having to create or speak out loud in our lives. And it can be quite uncomfortable. But then you have a choice whether to live with the discomfort that comes with speaking your truth, setting your boundary, and how it may land and how it's received, or the discomfort of not having said it and then living with not having shown up for yourself in the way you were needing, but also with whatever it is that you now have to continue enduring because you didn't set the boundary. And that is up to you. It takes the time it takes. Don't be hard on yourself about these things because these messages can be taken that way, but only when it's like going to be translated that way for all of us. And that's something that I'm still working through sometimes, clearly. So, and then this beautiful one, Pleiades, which comes up a lot for me. So it has to do with star constellation, but this would be, it's not even most specifically for people that feel connected to the stars as far as like, I know personally there's a family, for lack of a better word, that I left behind to come here. And it's like ever since I met that and then remembered that and come back to the memory of it, it's like I remember what it is, like surpassing what love feels like in a human vessel kind of love, because it's like wholeness and fulfillment and like easy creation, and none of it is like necessarily in a like 3D form. And it's this, it's I decided, speaking for like the all I, the collective, the light workers, the star seeds, healers, spiritual workers in general that are doing it with high compassion, good intention, came here as a choice to fulfill what is joyful in the perspective of their human existence, knowing that by doing that, you raise the vibration of the entire collective at all, like across the entire board. And that is a necessary piece and part. It was destined that you be here at this time to fulfill that mission. And you came here to do so. And how fucking noble is that? At the same time as, how do I do that in this societal scape? And that's where I need you to know you're doing enough by knowing that and by in any way, shape, or form working towards fulfilling that, even if it's not every single day that you get to like do something that fulfills you or that allows you joy, but also you get to allow joy at any moment at all. Like that is your birthright. Joy is allowed in all of us. I just know that saying that on some ears. Okay. Um, Sorry. I also like I go try to explain it for people that are most likely not listening this far, and so I was stopped because we're not doing that anymore. Um, yeah. Allow that for yourself. Know that what you're doing is enough, not to be hard on yourself about when it feels like there isn't a lot for you to do and there's waiting and a lot of sleeping or maybe no sleep. But for me, it has been like immense amounts of sleeping. And then I'm like, oh, but I'm not being like productive. And it's like, what what existence was productivity made by, though? Is that the world that we are creating going forward? Heaven on earth exists. And I don't mean in connection to Christianity or Catholicism or any of them things. Heaven on earth exists because we create it to be so. It's not something we win afterwards. We're here to create it here now because we know that we deserve better. We know that others and the generations to come after us deserve better. And we don't want to have to continue to keep coming back to teach the lesson, but it will be taught as many times as it needs to be taught until it is learnt. And you can only control what it is that you take on and learn and do. Remember that too. Trying to awaken others. It's not your responsibility, but see things like that I'm doing this is my way of reaching out to those who are open to hearing, to experiencing whatever that is. And if it encourages one person, I mean, really, it encourages me to continue. So there's that. I'm the one person. But yeah, as far as like the responsibility you have is to you, to your existence, and sure, to the entire collective, but you are a piece of that collective that you have control over and know the best, right? And so by showing up by your most fulfilled and wholest self, authentically, which takes a while to learn who that is. So then that you can bring the pieces of what that person creates and is and emanates forward. Like it takes the time it takes, like I said. Um, yeah, I don't know that there's any more to impart today. Um, I'm awaiting. I brought this one as well, and it's just a tiny, tiny little tarot deck. So we're gonna see what it has to say for this collective because yeah, I am in my east. The bottom one, thank you. Oh, my ear's ringing. Okay, we're almost done. Four of Wands. Which in this deck, oh my god, like it is the tiniest deck. I'm sorry, it's going to be all blurry. In this card, we do have an 1111 because it is four tiny candles. And a lot of people see this as commitment as far as like marriage because of the like four pillars being something that is a stable like thing that you've worked on, right? But wands have to do with creation. They have to do with spirituality, philosophy. It's a very Sag um energy thing as far as there being wands, but then when it's the four, actually it's a lot more Leo energy in this. However, that does not align specifically only with people who have Leo in their thing. I mean, look into the energy of Leo and know that it is available to you at this time and that you are most likely you are embodying this in this moment, whether you're aware of it or not. This is a card of not only celebration, but it's also a moment in the midst of, and how much does that fit into everything else? There is like community within, there is community with your guides, your guardians, or even more so, maybe this is you being celebrated by your guides and guardians. Knowing that you are within view and shot of this castle in the background, that you are in a stable place as far as your spirituality, wands, and that being the number four, it is in a whole and stable place, and yet still has a ways to go because you are still alive, thankfully, and you are in existence, and there is still work here to be done but like an immense amount of work has been completed by you already. And so have a party, whether it's with other people, yourself, like dance to your favorite song, light a candle, um, kiss a tree, like anything that allow yourself to remember that. So when, next stages come that are maybe a bit challenging or confusing or whatever it is, you remember like there has been milestones. This is a milestone. Okay. Yeah, lighting a oh my God, and then there's four cats. Like you're here by choice. You are here by your independence and your specific choice to be here. This was in no way something you've done out of subservience or aligning to like what, current society wants of you or anything. This is a very, very intuitive. Yeah, you're amazing. Thank you so much for doing this work. Okay, I will leave you with that for now. I will leave you with this little guy. Have a spectacular time until I read for you again. Celebrate yourself. I love you.